What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy up, man. And this is, excuse me, reality in 3D. This is my very first podcast ever, man. I'm gonna be putting a lot of them out. I started messing around a little bit with it for my daughter. Excuse me, and I feel like I got a lot to say, man. I feel like there's a lot needs to be said. You gotta excuse me. I'm right in the process of moving right now, so I know my video quality is horrible because I have an older laptop, and since all my stuff is packed up at the moment, aside from my microphone and my laptop, I have a high-def Sony camera that I'll be switching over to on next Saturday, or this upcoming Saturday. We move into our new house. My wife and I just bought our first house. I'm sorry, I'm having wardrobe / beauty issues. It's late, and I just got out of the shower, threw a hat on. Mr. Beast. So, let me introduce myself. My name's Kevin. I started out not too long ago. I wanted to start posting videos from my daughter. And we did. We posted a couple videos. It ended up being really cool. I liked the whole idea of her being able to put her own content out, but because she's only 10, or fixing to be 10, excuse me, she's actually only 9 at the moment. YouTube won't let me create a channel for her, so I let her, years ago when YouTube first got popular, I know I got wires all over the place, sorry with that. So years ago when YouTube first got popular, I created a channel, this channel. Never did anything with it at all. I posted like 2 videos and then never thought about it again. Now I'm avid YouTube user, promote YouTube, love YouTube, all that, right? But I never got into posting my own content until my daughter. Here we are, 10 years later. 13 years later, actually. And I'm just starting to get into promoting stuff. So anyway, she says one day, about a week ago, that the sound quality was horrible on her little videos. The video quality was really good because of the camera that I was using, and I'll be using most of the time again. My Sony high-def camera is really good. But the sound quality was horrible because I was just using the little tiny mic on the camera that's built in. And so I went and got her a real nice mic. And what I realized when I bought this microphone is it's not just any microphone. It's specifically designed for podcasting. So I set her up and I started doing some little test runs, of the Aaliyah and Daddy-O half-hour podcast show. And it's cute, right? Actually tonight, and this is what prompted me to get on here, and I just said, screw it, I'm going to start doing my own podcast. And this led me into this, was we made this 43-minute video, right? It's just me, my 2 daughters, all family fun. No cursing, all G content, and they flagged my video. I'm appealing it because I don't understand what we did in the video with a father and his 2 little daughters, right? Just sitting in the living room talking about their drawings or what they like best about the new house we're moving into, or playing the would you rather game. Would you rather eat worms or step on glass? Like, there was I'm baffled at why YouTube would censor that video. I don't understand it. And so then I started thinking about it, and maybe I did something wrong with how I set the video up, right? None of the content is worth them taking off. I'm just going to say that. There's nothing that was posted that is worth them not letting them have their own little show. The only thing I could think is and I think when I was setting this video up, this is my first time. I'm a newbie. Mr. Noob right here. I'm not, but I'm about to get into it. This has definitely amped me up and charged me up, and I'm fixing to get into it. I'm going to be Mr. Podcast now. Reality in 3D with Kev right here. And so I've been up in New Orleans. I currently live in Austin, Texas. Love Austin, by the way, but I'm from New Orleans. Grew up in New Orleans and southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, even Florida for a while. From the South, the Gulf Coast, all of that. But primarily, I'm from a really, even no matter what state I was living in, if it was shitty and it was poor, it was my home. From trailer parks to projects, been there, done that. Shitty, alcoholic, drug addict, I've been there, done it, lived it, grew up in it, right? So my childhood, but I didn't know any different, to tell you the truth. I thought everybody kind of lived like that. My dad would never let me stay at other people's houses, so I never got to see how the other side of society lived. I thought, whatever. And so I was cool, man. Had a great childhood, really. No money, lots of drugs and alcohol and fucked up shit happening around me. But for the most part, I was all right. I mean, I really was. Till 16 is when it got like the slap in the face. Walked in after coming home from football. I did both. All right, I played football and I was in band in Louisiana. Actually, we were in southern Mississippi last point. I love band too. If you're in band, you get to do the Mardi Gras scene, and that's just live. I come out here and I meet my beautiful Texas wife, and we've been, she's the love of my life. We've been together for 17 years now, married for 13, excuse me, babe. 13 of the 17 years we've been married, and she's always telling me when she found out my whole backstory, like, oh, you're a band nerd? Nah, where I come from, band is cool. Anyway, back to the backstory without getting too sidetracked. And that made happen. I may get off on rails. This whole thing is a learning process. We're going to kind of figure it out together, which y'all already probably know about it. But I'm just learning all this crap. But I promise you this, you're fixing to get a dump. And it's going to be like at the beginning, a dump of content. Because I'm here. I'm going to try to do 1 to 2 podcasts every day. Or 1 to 2 posts every day. Even if it's not just straight up podcasts like this, I'm going to do a post. I like the formality of a podcast, so I like sitting down. I like, I've just figured out the live chat. I can sit and talk live on YouTube. And I know right now I'm literally not chatting with anyone. Technically, I'm just posting content. But eventually I hope to build a following and, get you guys checking me out when I go live and be able to talk to you guys and have you guys comment on the content. Anyway, backstory. See, sidetrack. Came home from football / band practice after school to my dad, brains all over the walls. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Kevin Bosch Sr. decided to put a shotgun in his mouth and blow his brains out, knowing that his 16-year-old son was at school and would come home and find him laying on the ground. Oh, yeah, I did that. Got a T-shirt. So my point to all this is I've been through it. And so what I'm getting at is I've been wanting some kind of outlet, right? Where I could get on here and I could talk to folks, man. Give you my story. That was when I was 16, okay? I'm 35 years old now. I got some wisdom to lay on you, man. And you've got some wisdom you can lay on me. And I'm that guy. I've been through it all. I'm open to it, man. Give it to me. Help me in my ways. Because I struggle every day. I struggle with addiction. And it's the hardest thing I've had to get online. It's the hardest thing I've had to get on any forum. Or any, discussion. And it's the hardest thing to do in my life is to admit that I'm a drug addict. And I am. It's just what it is. I'm doing a lot better now than I have been over the years. At 16 years old, when I found my dad dead, it just spiraled me out of control, you know. I never got anything into any real heavy opiates. Before, right after he died, it was cocaine and marijuana and alcohol and ecstasy and stuff like that, but never any opiates or methamphetamine or anything like that. Once I was in my motorcycle accident, I believe it was 2010, 2011. My wife could tell you better than I can. I'm horrible with dates. That was it. I was introduced to prescription pain medication that led me into a horrible 5-year run of prescription opiate abuse. And the doctors just cut me off about 5-6 years ago, and that was it. I found heroin. I'm not an injector. I'm not an intravenous user. I snorted and smoked it, and it just wasn't good. Almost lost everything, ladies and gents, boys and girls. I mean everything. And I had it all. Being that I come from nothing, went through what I went through at 16, by the time I started with my serious drug habits, I had everything, man. I had the girl of my dreams. Thank whatever higher power you believe in. I have mine. I'm sure you have yours. I'm just thanking that higher power, whatever it is. I'm not going to say it out loud because I don't want to offend anyone. I literally just had my content of my little daughters cut. So I'm trying to have this be put out there. I'm trying to create something, man. I'm trying to, if I can help someone by sitting for 30 minutes or 45 minutes on a podcast on YouTube or Facebook, and I'm going to post this content everywhere. If I could get out here and help someone, just one person, from killing themselves or from hurting themselves, or save them from struggles and the pain that I've went through over the last few years, man. Keep them from having to be incarcerated or making bad decisions and almost destroying their life, or, thank God, or whatever higher power you believe in or want to call it, that I didn't lose everything because I was this close. I was this close. Razor thin. Barely fit a piece of paper in between how close I was to losing it all. And I've got it all back and way better now. Just over the last 5 months, I have saved my life. Got my wife back, my best friend, my soulmate. Got my kid. I'm living back with the kids and my wife. We're all a happy, healthy family. Better than my wife and I keep saying, and I feel, and I'm honest, down to the deepest parts of my heart, I feel like her and I have not been this good since we met 17 years ago. And that's a lot to say, because we've been together for 17 years. We've had some really good times. I mean, really good. But now I look at her and I fall in love with her every time I see her face. That's powerful to come after being together for 17 years. And, aside from, I was incarcerated and rehabbed over the last year or so. And when I say rehab, I mean like a inpatient drug rehab for 30 days. But, distance between us made us grow stronger. Maybe that was it. We've been apart before many times and never, I think honestly what it is, okay? And I have my downsides, okay? I have my down times where I fall off the wagon or I do wrong. Okay, recently I've gotten onto a wonderful, wonderful drug called Suboxone or buprenorphine and naloxone. And it's helped. I mean, it just helps. I don't crave. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic. But I don't have the cravings. I don't have any of that. So now that I can get rid of that, I'm not chasing the high. And it's not even like I want to get high like that. I was miserable sober. And they say, oh, well, you burn out your receptors and all your drugs. No, it's not. I've been through horseshit after horseshit and had to deal with so much just brutal, always getting drawn the short straw or getting the shaft or whatever saying you want to use. Cursed at birth. And drugs was just like, it was never a party. People around me, woo, party, get high. Me, I didn't want to be around them. I just wanted to get high so I could maintain to be around them, and not hate everyone and everything. And now I don't. Buprenorphine has helped me a lot, So I would use drugs when I'd get to that point, even after rehab, right? Everything's getting better in my life, but I keep falling off the wagon. I keep fucking up. I'm not even gonna say fucking up, okay? I keep falling off the wagon, and I would do good, and I'd be sober, and I'm at the gym, and I'm losing weight, and I'm buffing up, I'm looking good. My wife and I are doing great. My honesty level with her is at 100%, right? Building the trust, building the faith, building the love. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I should have go get high. And I didn't understand it. And I'm starting to a little more each time that I use. I'm not going to say it. Let me back up. Not that I'm feeling better each time I use buprenorphine, but I'm starting to realize what it is. It's I don't want to be miserable. Okay. And I've been to the doctors and I've done the rehab and I've gotten locked up and, it doesn't matter. Nothing can be going wrong. Everything will be fine. And I'm pacing at 4:00 in the morning or 3:00 in the morning through the living room like a madman, just wanting to hit that fucking button and fuck some shit up. I don't know why I'm like that. But I am. And I don't want to be like this. But it's me. It's literally like ingrained in me, whether it's the shit that I've been through in my life or whatever it is. Maybe I have burned out all my receptors and synapses or whatever in my brain, and I just can't be happy without a chemical. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I was miserable before the chemicals, so I doubt that's it. I think it's the bullshit, You eat enough shit in one lifetime, especially as a young adult. So my formative years, the years that were creating the man that will be Kevin, right? The adult, the human being that will be Kevin. It's just bullshit after bullshit, Poor, and my dad was so fucking angry and just beat on me like I was more like a dog, like a really well-loved pit bull than treated like a child, And nobody watched out for me. Nobody looked out for me. Where the fuck? I got kids of my own now. Are you crazy? I watch them, every move they make. Their mother, the best woman I could have ever chosen to have children with. Best mother, totally devoted. I have 9 fingers since I was 4 years old because I found my dad's 357 and blew myself up. I didn't shoot myself. I had the revolver in my hand and I pulled the trigger. 4. Where were my parents at? Like what? Really? Hello? You got a child here. Might want to make sure your gun's put away. I think you might want to make sure if he's up that he's fed and not crawling around the kitchen on his own at 4 years old, about to bust his head wide open because he's hungry looking for some fucking food. Sorry. That's a whole nother can of worms I want to get into. But later, this is all me, and this is exactly what I wanted to do with this episode 1 of Reality in 3D. It's an introduction of who I am, because this is what this is going to be. This is my podcast. This is all about me. So maybe through all the shit that I've done or that has been done to me, all right, the lessons I've learned, the hurdles I've overcome, maybe if I tell my story, I can help somebody. Maybe I can help you watching this right now. Maybe you feel like whatever situation that's so fucked up, maybe you're even, it's like a little voice in the back of your head, right? Like, man, I could just fucking do it in or eat these pills and just go to sleep and not have to deal with this shit anymore. You ever get those feelings? You got to get rid of that, man. If you're in that place, please follow me. Because this is what I'm going to do. We're going to learn. We're going to heal together, man. Because I am fucking so flawed. I'm very far from miraculously saved. My life has gotten way better over the last 5 months, 4 3/4 months since I've been released from incarceration. And it's gotten good, like, so fast. Okay. So I'm giving you hope. If you're watching this video and you're feeling like shit, and just know, just follow me. Okay. Just, I'm not trying to get the whole world to follow me. I don't care. I don't care. This is just as much therapy for me as I hope I'm able to help someone in the future. You know, if I can get on here and talk, it helps me get it off my chest and it allows me to help other people. That's why I called this podcast Reality in 3D, because we're going to get to the nitty gritty of it. We're going to say all the things that nobody else wants to say. Okay? Because I ain't scared. I used to be. Not anymore. I learned the more honest that I get about this whole situation, I can't fix it if I'm facading it. Right? If I'm not being real about this whole deal, I can't fix the shit. And I've not been honest about it. I've lied, I've bullshitted, I've facaded. Okay? And I'm tired of that because I wasn't getting anywhere. I almost lost everything. And my drug use is spiraling. To say I was binging is an understatement. Can you binge for 6, 7 years, 10 years? Is that considered a binge? I thought binge was a couple months, maybe. I'm talking about 2-3 grams of heroin a day for 5 years straight. Prior to that, 30 pills. I mean, I'd eat 10 pills at a time, do that 2 or 3 times a day. It's amazing I can even go to the bathroom right now. My liver's not just shutting down. Thank you. So I'm not here to preach. So I just want to make that clear. This podcast will not be, hey, you should do this and it'll change your life, because I have no fucking clue what it is. I'm learning, you know. I have no answers for you. So if you're coming for the answers, hang out. Maybe we'll discover them together. One thing I can say is I started step 1, honesty. Get honest. Get real. 4.5, 4 3/4, almost 5. I'm gonna call it 5. Okay, my wife beats me up because I over exaggerate too much, but I'm gonna call it 5. Been out for 5 months, and in 5 months, my wife and I have gotten back together. Totally, 180 to our relationship. We are better now than we ever have been. I feel more connected to her and more love towards her, and I can feel her love towards me in such a beautiful and pure way than I think we've ever been. We've always been good. We've had really good times, but this time, this new chapter is just beautiful. Okay. I'm starting my own business. It's rolling and I'm making money. It's not blowing out the water, but I just started. You know, it takes time and it's building. I'm doing it. My relationship with my kids. I'm so connected with my little babies and I love them so much. It's beautiful. Everything, you know. My life is gorgeous. My wife and I are buying our first house. You know, she's so awesome. She's worked to not only maintain for especially the last 3 years, all of our bills and necessities to live, you know, food and insurance and everything. She's taken care of our entire household for strong the last 3.5, almost 4 years now. And I was just plummeting and fucking up. And on top of that, she has also saved enough money and figured out these avenues to help us buy our first home. So we're buying our first house. Oh, and I got out. I didn't have a vehicle, as you do after being locked up for a year. You come out, you have no money, no stability, you're not rooted anywhere. If you're like me and a dumbass and cheat on your wife and almost lose her, I almost lost everything. So I didn't have her. I didn't have money. I didn't have a vehicle. I mean, I had this shitty old Jeep, but it was all beat up, 4 flat tires when I come home. So somebody had pushed it with their truck to push it out of the way because she was so disgusted with me. She didn't want to look at it anymore. So she pushed it over in front of my sister's house. Oh, yeah. It's been tough, man. But I'm okay. And every day my life gets a little better. Every day is a little better than it was the day before. And it all started with me getting real. Right? Dropping the bullshit. And I've never had anybody I could truly talk to. I've tried to talk to everybody. I've never had anyone I truly connect with. Except for this guy right here. Me. I literally found myself looking at myself in the mirror like, all right, we're fucked. What are we going to do now, Kev? So I know how that feels too if you're in that position. You feel like you have nobody. I'm surrounded by everyone, but I have no one. What kind of sense does that make? And it's not that my family or friends didn't want to help me, because of course they did. They should know how. Because I'm like no one I've ever met. I'm the only me there is. And if you're watching this video because you're in a similar situation, or if you're watching this video and you feel like you relate to me, I can tell you this: there's no one like you. And so very few people will relate with you. And you can't, a lot of times what I see people do is they'll try to use other people's problems and exact methods to fix those problems and apply it to their own life, and it doesn't work. I could get nothing from a 12-step program, nothing. I tried, and I really gave them all. But the shit that they were giving me wasn't relative to me. You know what I mean? It didn't matter. I did everything they told me to do, and I still was in the same place. So I figured out what worked for me was, like I said, reality. Getting real, laying it all out on the table and processing it. Compartmentalizing it and processing it, figuring it out. All right. Step 1, I'm fucked. Step 2, why am I fucked? Step 3, the process I go through to get there. And it's worked. It's worked. Whether it be today, I don't need to talk to anyone. I just need to run. Or I need to do 600 push-ups. Or I need to work all day long. Or just the opposite, not work at all. Maybe this day, and I'm not going to say relapses are good, but it's helped me. Because maybe this day, I just do need to get high all day long. I know that sounds totally crazy, and it's not good, okay? Don't get my words twisted when I tell you it's not good to use. But at that moment, maybe getting drunk or maybe doing that line or popping that pill for that day got me through that moment. And one thing I know why I'm healing is because I haven't had any more of those moments. And I felt not bad about it. I just knew we know right from wrong, right? And that's the wrong thing to do. So then I found buprenorphine or Suboxone. And if you're having a problem with opiates, or even if you're not opiates, even if you're just having an issue where you feel like life is better when you're high, like you process better, that was me. Like I was so fucked up that until I was inebriated, not too high or not too drunk, but right in the middle is the only way I could function without hating everyone, including myself. And when I hated everyone is when I started bullshitting and lying all the time. I started stealing from people that I cared about. And I started fucking my life up because I didn't care, because I hated everyone. And so when I would get high, Then I could breathe, and I wanted to be everybody's friend again. But it was short-lived, and it was fake. Because it wasn't truly me. It was just me high. Because the true me really fucking hated everyone and didn't care about anyone. I didn't respect anyone. I didn't care about anyone. I just didn't care. I was so hurt and destroyed inside. And I was so fucked up over myself too. I'm a certain person, right? I believe we all are geared, our DNA or whatever the hell you want to call it, is set to be a certain person at birth. And if you go against your grain, so you start doing things, and maybe it was led on, but I don't blame anything I've been through on my dad. You know, I can say I'm fucking pissed off or was pissed off at him because I was. I hated him for a long time, and that made me hate myself and hate everyone else, and it just spiraled, right? And so I'm at a point now to where the Suboxone, I take a strip in the morning. Yeah, my doctor gives me ability for 2 strips, but I just take 1 most of the time. And it doesn't get me high. I actually don't feel anything at all. But it levels me out up here, you know. And that's given me the freedom to care, to truly be myself without hate or resentment, and for no reason. Why would you wake up first thing in the morning? Nothing's happened to you in the day and night before was absolutely beautiful, but wake up just hating people in life. Like, it's not right. And so that's where I got to. Anyway, I don't mean to rant and rave. Obviously, although I wanted to call this, I'm getting to the point where I'm going to wrap this up because I've tried to tell myself I don't want to do more than 30, 45 minutes, and I don't. And I'm going to have, I guess this one will be, I'm going to change the title. This will be Intro 1A or season. Yeah, season 1. This is episode 1, Intro A. And then tomorrow I'll do an Intro B for 30 minutes or 45 minutes. And then that'll be the full, you'll get the kind of whole roundabout story of me. It's hard. I've been through so much shit, and not just like when my dad killed himself or certain situations that have happened towards me, but just even right now, like I could make a whole week's worth of podcasts that are just on the last 5 months of my life. And I want, if you're struggling, okay, if you're going through it and you're depressed and you don't want to leave, you just want to crawl up in a dark hole and die, or you can't put that fucking pill down or that needle down or that bottle down because you're in this place, I want to talk to you because we can help each other, you know? I need to connect to people like that. And this is a genius idea. And I promise, all my life, I promise that the video quality will get better. I keep looking down and I almost want to puke on this old Logitech camera. It's so crappy. But it'll get better. I promise it'll get better. And yeah, it's going to be good. This whole deal right now, this is the step in the right direction. And maybe nobody watches it, right? Maybe we don't get it. Any kind of, maybe we, right? Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, no. Maybe I don't get any exposure. Nobody watches it. I don't care. I'm still going to produce this content every day because I already feel better. Is that crazy? Maybe. I don't know. It's helping me to talk to someone. And because I'm baffled of who, I don't know if baffled's the right word. I don't know who to talk to because no one can relate to me. And I don't feel like anyone really truly listens to me, but I know you're out there. It can't be just me in the mirror. I can't be the only one that I know that's like me to be able to work through my kind of issues. So reality in 3D is born. Okay. For the next couple days, I'll do a couple just to get through the intro, and then I can promise you 2 a week. I'll try to do that. I'll try to go live on Facebook at least once or twice a week, and I'll promise you at least 2 podcasts of reality in 3D live. I feel like this is going to be a really good thing. comment below. Leave me comments. I'll check them every day or so, or anytime I'll jump on. I'm sure they'll send me notifications too when y'all comment. Other videos, other content that I posted, when people have commented, it sent an email to a notification. So I'm sure it'll do the same thing. Let me know if you're listening. If something I said resonates with you, if there's a topic that I cover, because I know I've jumped all over the place. If there's a topic that I've hit that hits home for you and you want me to elaborate, let me know. Comment. Like, share my videos, subscribe, or don't. I don't care. I really enjoy podcasting, and I've hit a chord within my own self just setting all this up. Just setting up a forum where I can go on and maybe talk to a young woman or a young man who is struggling, feeling like they want to end it all. They're contemplating suicide, or they've been through certain things. I want to get my wife on. I keep talking about her because she could help so many young women. I've never known anyone in my life as strong as my wife, and I'm not going to put her story on blast or anything like that. I'll save it because one day I will talk her into sitting in front of this camera and starting this whole deal. And I have a feeling she'll get hooked as much as I am. And if I could reach a young man who's struggling like I was, and save him from having to go through the incarcerations, go through the misery and the dark places that I've been over the last, even just 5 years, if there was a secret to how my wife could go through some of the most traumatic events and come out on the other side, not a drug addict, not a liar, I'm not even going to say a liar, but the facade, it comes from these, it's almost a form of post-traumatic stress disorder. You put up facades trying to block yourself from being hurt like that again. I know I'm the poster child of that. And she didn't get that. She kept it real. And she's the most devoted, respectful, loving, caring. She's not manipulative. It's like, I'm sorry. She's awesome. And I feel the same way about her, is why I want to get her on a podcast at some point, as I feel with me getting on here, telling the truth, telling our stories. Even just over the last 2 years, what her and I went through, and I'm not going into it. That's our personal life. That's one thing I'm not going to put on blast, and I just won't talk about. We've gone through some things. I can tell you that, though, as far as our personal relationship. But that's between her and I. And that's our personal relationship. I don't talk about our intimacy. I'll never talk about anything of that. That's ours. Good or bad. But for us to be able to come out on the other side, there we have a secret. There's something different in us. And I don't know what that is, but if we could teach it, even just for young couples, let me tell you something. If you're in love, like truly in love, I know people say that all the time, and they get married and they get divorced. I always said when I was younger, I would never get divorced. My mother was divorced and married 3 different times. My father 4 different times, and he lived with 7 different women. My mom 3 different times, and she lives with 4 different men. I didn't like what was getting married. Signing half your shit over to someone else is what it felt like to me, until I met my wife. Now that's true love. And if you have that and you're struggling, maybe this podcast thing is the answer. Maybe that's why I keep getting pushed. It's like something internally, call it God, call it, something is pushing me to speak. And it is, whether maybe I help someone. I tell you, if I ever found out that just because I sat down and took the time to rant for a little while with a microphone in front of me in my living room, but that video saved someone from slicing their wrist, or save someone from not even if you're at that point, because I've never hit that point. I've never really felt like I wanted to kill myself, but I have felt so dark, alone, and desperate that led me into the worst. Like I said, you can't even call what I went through a drug binge. Binges don't last for 10 years. They just don't. A binge is 2, 3 weeks, 4 months, something like that. It's not years. But then to come out on the other side to where I'm at now, with my whole life just totally flip flopping and doing a 180 to this perfect, beautiful thing. And I don't know what it is, but if I could figure that recipe out and write a book or give it to you, I mean, you could save lives. Now, of the corner of my peripherals, because I'm a multitasker, my wife is, so that's my cue. So this is episode 1, the intro of Reality in 3D with Kevin. Expect more. I don't know what this is yet. I'm figuring it out, and it all started from my little daughter pushing me to vlog and post her little videos on YouTube, but it's coming. I can feel this is powerful, and I'm going to give it to you. I appreciate your time. Thanks for listening. Comment, like, share, subscribe. Appreciate it. Shh, not over. All right.